They called it shock and awe. On the 20th of March 2003, the war against Iraq started with an air campaign. This was swiftly followed by a land invasion led by the US and the UK. The first phase of the operation was considered fast and efficient and quickly announced as a resounding success.
I would like to think that maybe a year or 2 years' time, it's going to be possible for some of you to come back here and see the changes in this country that have arisen from what you've done today.
But what followed saw US and UK government statements concerning Iraqi weapons programs discredited. Here in the UK, what was later nicknamed the dodgy dossier was a document used by the British government to make the case for its war in Iraq. Now, it stated that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction that could be deployed within 45 minutes. No weapons of mass destruction had been found in Iraq, despite repeated intensive investigation. Even with the evidence presented as justification for intervention in Iraq, the UK saw a huge political demonstration against going to war. Those who opposed the war now say they were vindicated.
There was this sense of a headlong crash towards a disaster, where logic, rationality, intellectuality, the truth, all went out of the window.
But when I ask him about allegations he was a Saddam apologist, he's less keen to talk. It's part of the narrative, isn't it, that we don't know what's going to happen. It's very easy to vilify Tony Blair for what took place.
You're right.
He had to make a decision.
You're right to say that we don't know what would have happened if we hadn't done what we did. So the only thing we can actually scientifically analyse is what did happen after we did what we did. A blind man can see that invading Iraq was a cataclysmic disaster.
An inquiry was set up to find out about the UK's involvement in Iraq. What is now known as the Chilcot Report took 7 years to conclude. But when it did, its findings were unanimous and damning.
Military action in Iraq might have been necessary at some point, but in March 2003, there was no imminent threat from Saddam Hussein.
Former Prime Minister Tony Blair has apologised for the mistakes made, but stands by his decision.
If people are going to say the decision was wrong, they have at least to consider the points that I'm making, that Saddam might have gone back and reconstituted his programme, as the Iraq Survey Group finds, and we might have had the same situation in Iraq today as we have in Syria.
15 years on, there is still no clear answer as to the rights and wrongs of intervention. And the world continues to feel the ramifications of a war that started with shock and awe. Sara Firth, TRT World.